Hello everybody and welcome to Genesreviews. Reviews from a regular dude. Where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels, occasionally I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hello everybody and welcome to Genesreviews. Reviews from a regular dude down in the basement. Today we're doing one from Top 5 Unknowns. This is 5 eerie individuals who use the internet as a trap. A lot of creepy people out there, that's for sure.
Whether searching for a long-time partner or something more casual, more and more people are using dating sites and apps than ever before. Meeting anyone online always comes with the possibility of danger, but promises of love and romance can sometimes make it easier for criminals to convince their victims to trust them.
Gonna get catfished big time.
Number 5. Ruben Sarpong used multiple dating sites and stolen identities from military personnel to take millions of dollars from more than 30 women. As he destroyed their lives, he hosted photos on social media, posing with stacks of bills and expensive watches. On one occasion, he claimed that he'd been blessed by a Dubai millionaire. Of course, this wasn't the case. Sarpong was born in Ghana and had friends in the country, but he managed to make permanent residency in New Jersey. It was from his home in Millville that he set up multiple profiles on Match.com, Plenty of Fish, and OurTime.com, posing as a member of the US military posted overseas. Sarpong's scam started in January of 2016 when he began talking to women on one of these sites. He claimed to be a petty officer in the Navy and was stationed in Canada. They spoke for a few months before he asked her to send him $3,000. The woman trusted him and sent over the money. Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last time that he asked for money, but this woman believed she was in a relationship with the man Sarpong claimed to be. She lost over $50,000. By November of the same year, Sarpong had moved on to another victim. This time, he claimed to be a member of the US Navy stationed in Syria. This would be the story he went with most often, as he scammed thousands of people for money, all of whom believed they were in love. He would tell the women that he'd come into possession of gold bars worth around $10 million. Sometimes he was awarded them and sometimes he retrieved them. Sometimes someone had simply given them to him. Sarpong told the women he needed money to get the gold bars to the US. They would get their money back and more as soon as the bars were on US soil. While it's easy to see that this is a scam from the outside, Sarpong was able to manipulate the women into believing the person they were speaking to really was in love with them. Sometimes he enlisted the help of other people who would claim to be diplomats, giving even more credibility to the story. In 2018, he gave the story to one woman referred to as victim number 2. She sent him a total of $93,000 to help him bring $12 million in gold from Syria.
He's that big of a deal and he can't even flip the video so that you can read his hat.
Sarpong sent a photo of a man he claimed was an Israeli diplomat. Victim 2 was supposed to meet the man at the airport the following day. He was bringing 2 trucks of what Sarpong called family treasure. The diplomat didn't show up. Faced with the fact that she had given so much money to the scammer, the victim took her own life. About a year later, Sarpong was finally arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud.
It reminds me of when I was a little bit late to the game, the very first email I got was all the way back in like 2007. And I used to get those all the time from like saying they were a African prince and they had these millions of dollars and I had to get it for them and all this stuff. And just such crap. It's hard to believe that back that long ago that was happening and people are still falling for it.
Number 4. Maria da Silva had already made a name for herself as a notorious criminal when she joined the dating app Tinder earlier this year. Da Silva is 29 years old and earned the nickname Queen of Crime after her capture in 2017. Compared to other criminals on this channel, Da Silva didn't seem particularly dangerous. Rather than assault or some other violent crime, it was a string of robberies that initially got her caught. Da Silva came from a relatively well-off family. Her siblings all enjoyed successful careers, but Da Silva struggled with school and didn't want to study, according to her father. He
Spoiled
tried to
rich
help her
kid.
start a business, but the work involved wasn't something that interested her. She decided it was far easier to just steal what she wanted. On social media, she portrayed a life most people could only dream of, complete with luxury clothing, dazzling pools, and champagne. Given her family's wealth, it was easy to assume that the money behind her posts came from them. But this wasn't the case, as after Da Silva chose a life of crime, her family spoke to her less and less. Her father insisted that she paid for all of the luxuries herself. In 2017, the source of her money emerged when she was arrested for an attempted robbery. She was parked in a rental car outside a house when the owner came home. They asked her what she was doing there, and Da Silva claimed that she thought someone else lived there. She left, and the homeowners went inside to find that someone had attempted to break in. Da Silva was caught, and it emerged that she'd robbed more than a dozen other homes. She was handed a prison sentence of 2 years and 4 months, but was released only 10 months later. Though she couldn't leave the city and had to appear before a judge every 3 months, she was free to leave her home between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. It was while serving this sentence that she joined Tinder and arranged a date with an unnamed 29-year-old man. The pair met up in a public place and hit it off. Da Silva suggested that they go back to her grandmother's house for some privacy, and the man agreed. As he drove, they passed a scrapyard, and Da Silva asked her date to stop so her friend could get a lift. As soon as he did, 2 men forced their way into the car, threatening the victim with a knife. The victim was forced to hand over his phone and wallet. Then Da Silva told him they would kill him, prompting the man to fight back. The victim managed to escape the car, and the 3 criminals fled. Da Silva denies taking any part in the robbery, but has been on the run ever since.
Well, I hope they get her. To get only 10 months in jail for that, if she was somebody who didn't have money, I guarantee she would have got a lot longer than that.
Number 3. Meshach Cornwall believed that he'd found someone who he could have a relationship with when he connected with Shakira Graham on Plenty of Fish. Unfortunately, she had no interest in a relationship and would later be found guilty of his murder. Meshach was a car salesman who lived with his mother. According to his mother, he was a kind young man who never forgot a birthday or Mother's Day. He connected with Graham in December of 2018. They spoke online for a short while, in which time Graham allegedly conned Meshach into believing they were in a relationship. Meshach was keen to meet Graham in real life and suggested they meet at his home, as his mother was away on a trip. On December 15th, Graham agreed and the two spent the night together. Meshach was not exceptionally rich, but Graham had seen a few items that she wanted while at his home. According to Meshach's mother, he would probably have just given her the items if she'd asked, but Graham had other ideas. On December 17th, Graham broke into the house. The exact details of what happened are unknown, as Graham still claims she's innocent despite a guilty verdict. It seems likely she believed Meshach was out, but she apparently came prepared for trouble. Meshach's mother arrived at the home to find her son's body at the bottom of the basement stairs. He'd suffered multiple bullet wounds, which is what led to his death. There were also a number of bullet holes in the walls of the basement, suggesting whoever had fired didn't have much experience with the weapon. Meshach's car was missing, along with a TV and multiple firearms. It didn't take police long to find Meshach's car, which had been abandoned. Finding who had stolen it would take a little bit longer. Going through Meshach's contacts, police came across Graham. Whether it was because they didn't suspect she had anything to do with the crime, or if they didn't know where to find her is unclear, but it was 2 months before she was apprehended at her mother's home. Graham denied any part in his death, but was found guilty of robbery and murder.
I don't understand people. Oh well. I guess I'm not a sociopath, huh? Or a psychopath.
Number 2. Haley Bustos was paid just $50 to arrange the robbery of a man she met on a dating site. The robbery would end in his murder. Adam Hillary was a 27-year-old man from Florida. He had a 5-year-old daughter who he adored, but he was no longer with her mother. In August of 2006,
Look at her face. She doesn't look sorry at all. Just blank.
16, he decided to try to find love again using the Plenty of Fish dating site. There he met Bustos, who he got along well with. Before long, Adam had invited Bustos on a date, and on August 18th, they met in person for the first time. If Adam had done a little bit more research into his date, he would have discovered Bustos was on probation for another robbery. But after picking Bustos up, they really didn't click like they had online. He took her bowling before they returned to his place, and afterwards Adam even dropped her off back at her home. Bustos texted him afterwards to say she was looking forward to seeing him again, but a second date wouldn't come. The following night, Bustos and 3 men arrived at Adam's apartment. Bustos and one of the men, Joshua Ellington, waited outside while Andre Warner and Gary Gray went inside. He didn't put up any fight. Items could be replaced, but he knew better than to provoke someone with a weapon. He only asked for his life and told his attackers about his daughter. For some reason, the robbery escalated and Adam was killed. Afterwards, none of the men seemed remorseful for what they had done. This wasn't just a robbery gone wrong, as they celebrated after they left the apartment. Shortly afterwards, they got into a fight, and the TV they had stolen was smashed, and they threw away the phone they'd taken as well. Police found Adam's body the following day. Nobody had seen the man the day before, but the witness did tell police about a young woman that Adam had been with the day before he died. Bustos was caught in another robbery not long after, and all 4 culprits were arrested. Bustos and Ellington both admitted their involvement in the crime, while Warner was found guilty of murder. Gray is yet to go to trial.
I'm not
Number
gonna
1.
say it, man. It's crazy.
For more than 18 years, husband and wife Dmitry and Natalia Bakshiv took the lives and consumed the bodies of dozens of people. According to Natalia, more than 30 people lost their lives at the hands of the cannibal couple, who may have lured in their victims through dating sites. It was through just one coincidental mistake that the couple were caught. Dmitry lost his phone in 2017. It was found by road workers who went through it to try to find out who it belonged to. They discovered disturbing photos of a man posing with human body parts and even a complete dead body. The workers, of course, handed the phone to the police, who identified the man as Dmitry. The Bakshivs lived in southern Russia and worked at a military academy. Natalia was a nurse and Dmitry was a repairman.
Wow.
The police raided their home, where they made what was likely the most gruesome discovery of their careers. There were 7 containers of human remains. Remains were also found pickled in jars in the freezer. Incriminating photos were found, including one dating back to 1999. According to authorities, the remains belonged to a woman named Elena. Elena was a waitress who'd been drinking with Dmitry. Natalia accused her of seducing her husband before ordering Dmitry to take her life.
What's with the picture with that sickle like that? That right there tells you he's probably crazy.
Dmitry agreed, and she was killed on September 8, 2017. Initial reports also claimed the remains of a second woman were discovered in the home. Though the woman was never publicly identified, it was suspected that she'd met the couple through a Russian dating website. After the arrest, Natalia confessed to killing more than 30 people. The bodies were butchered, with anything that wasn't eaten disposed of in various locations. The details of these victims aren't well known, though the photo from 1999 allegedly showed Dmitry posing with a man's head. Once the media got a hold of the story, rumors ran wild. Natalia apparently earned a little extra money by selling meat pies to local cafes and the military academy. According to one cafe owner, Natalia said the pies were made from whatever was lying around. They were also accused of using cat and dog meat. In the end, police denied the couple's high death toll and claimed that Elena was the only victim. They said the couple had only met in 2012, so they couldn't have been taking lives together as early as '99. This sparked claims of a cover-up, as authorities tried to avoid a scandal at the military academy. One lawyer questioned why it appeared that Elena's body had been cut up by someone with previous experience, though neither of the Bakshivs had any experience as a butcher or a surgeon. Dmitry died in prison in February of 2020, while his wife is still living an 11-year sentence.
She only got 11 years out of it. That's it. Just 11 years.
Whether searching for a longtime partner or something more
She only got 11 years out of it. Wow. Oh well, let's get on to something a little more fun. How about a joke? I know my jokes are pretty corny most of the time, so I don't know how fun that is for you, but I like corny jokes. What's E.T. short for? Well, because he's only got little legs. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.